So, first things first, how are you?
I am fabulous.
Very good to hear.
I'm just very happy. I've got my room, got my friends, got good music.
Very good.
What more do you need? How are you,
I'm all right,
Robin?
thank you. Thanks for asking. So before we talk about the music you've been making lately, I'll jump back a little bit to the beginning. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you were born in Indiana?
I was born in Indiana and then went straight back to Dublin.
Okay.
I think my dad slyly just wanted me to have an American passport to make life easier. Do you know what I mean? I've both. I've got an Irish passport as well. So I think that was my mum is American.
Okay.
But I grew up in Ireland. Yeah.
Because do you consider yourself very much Irish then?
Oh yeah, totally. That's that's where I grew up. That's where all my childhood memories are. Do you know what I mean? So.
And how many of those childhood memories were involved with music? Because your parents both were very musical as well.
Yeah, most of them. I've always loved it. Like, and I don't know what the story is with other places, but like when you're in like school, like when you're young, you have those like end of year shows and like those kind of like, oh, here's what your kids have been doing. Sure. And I've always, like every year I'd always like do something, or like I'd be like in poetry competitions or performing arts schools, or like every school I went to, the first thing I'd do is join the choir, and I moved around. I think I went to like 6 different schools in my time. I wasn't like bold or anything. I just like, I don't know. I just went to a lot of different schools, but I'd always join the choir. And yeah, my dad used to be a drummer, and then he decided to make some money, which he has successfully done. Fair play to him. And yeah, my mum used to be a teacher, and then she's doing jazz music now. So there's always been music around. They both have a really nice taste in music as well, which I'm blessed with. And like my older brother, he kind of introduced me to like the underground scene, and like got me into definitely what's probably influenced me most now, which is cool.
Especially very early on, what would you gravitate towards? Because there's a big mix. There's jazz music.
I always gravitated towards the R&B.
Okay.
Ashanti, self-titled Ashanti, was my first album. And like I used to always like, I'd watch the music channels and stuff and like dance along to Destiny's Child, and my dad actually got me the B-Day DVD video thing, so like it was all of the videos from that album, and I used to just spend hours dancing with Beyonce and like trying to sing.
And at this point, I suppose you were quite young, but were you already creating your own melodies, writing your own?
I think I wrote my first song when I was like 9. It wasn't great, but my stepdad, he had like some friends with a recording studio, and he like brought me in to record it. So we have that demo of my first song somewhere back in Ireland, which is pretty sweet.
When was the last time you heard it?
I haven't heard it in age. I remember what it goes like, so maybe it was a decent tune. But but I haven't heard the demo in a while. I'd actually like to hear that.
No, but that's the thing, because do you know what you were trying to accomplish at that point?
I was just trying to write a song.
Okay.
I was just trying to write a song. Thought it would be fun, and it's been fun.
When did it transition from something fun, which obviously it still is, but to something you thought as a career path sounds so official? But
I think honestly, the start of this year, because I've always, when I started writing, it was by myself in my room, or like I wrote with a really good friend of mine, this guy called Milo, and he was like a really sick guitarist. He learned from this like gypsy guy, and so I'd write a song and bring it to him, and we'd just like jam, and it was all kind of fun. And like even last year with the EPs and stuff, EPs are great because you can just have fun and like do whatever. But this year I've had to start working on my album, so then it's been like, okay, now this is a job. Now this is getting serious. Still fun, obviously. But
that's interesting then, because like you say, now the focus is on the album. So where have you this might sound weird, but place the bar for yourself. What do you want the album to be for your first album?
I want it to be brilliant. It's my first album. I want it to be brilliant. Or I want to think it's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I don't really care if, you know, other people, like, there's a lot of like my friends that I know who I know like aren't into it, and they'll be like, yeah, I don't really like that, but I know what they listen to, and I don't really like that. Do you know what I mean? So like, as long as I can like see it, and I'm very excited to do it and like have it done. But yeah, I want it to be brilliant.
Because I don't know how far along you are, how much you've written yet.
I probably have loads of albums worth of music.
Okay.
I've literally just been writing all year, so there are fuckloads of ideas. I just need to just pick my favorites. I think I'm gonna stop writing maybe at the end of the summer, and then just pick my favorites, and then just like hammer them home.
This might be a tough question then, but do you know why, particularly this time of, not this time of year, but this time in your life, that you're flourishing as a writer, or you're so productive?
Just because I've been doing it so much. Like, even when I was writing when I was younger, it was just for fun. So it was literally like, you know, when I wasn't in school, on the odd day, like write a song like here and there. But now I'm writing, like, I've just been in Copenhagen with these guys' lists, and when we're together, we just like write loads of ideas. We spent like half an hour on each idea, and then move on, and then go back and work on the ones we like. But I've been writing, you know, fucking 5-6 songs a day for the whole year. Okay. So if I didn't get better by now, it would be really upsetting.
But, well, 5-6 songs a day.
That's an exaggeration. Well, definitely for the last week and like the last few months, I've been writing every day.
Well, even if you just write one song a day, let me ask it differently. Can I assume it's autobiographical?
Which?
The music, the lyrics are autobiographical?
What do you mean, like about my own life? Yeah, like sometimes, but because I write every day, sure. Sometimes, you know, like just to get shit out there, I'd like take things, you know, there's only so much you can write about, so you need to take in some stuff. So I'll like write about my friends and what's going on in their life, and I asked actually my manager, who's a really fun guy, I asked him to just write me some stories like about whatever, about his life, blah, 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 it didn't matter. But he's had a crazy life. So he got back to me with like these 12 insane stories. And like, so that was quite fun. It's nice when you have a theme, because then you can take words out from it, you know what I mean, that relate to that, and it just all makes it easier. But one of the songs that I wrote from those stories, I was able to kind of take that and like relate it to something else, and it's one of my favorite things that I've written with someone I really like. Right. So that's cool.
Can you share a little bit more about that song?
I don't know if I can. Like this guy Rostam, who's a crazy producer, and he's brilliant. I luckily got to spend some time with him, and he sent me this beat, and I wrote that song over that, and it's one of those things, like it happened in like 2 hours, and like usually that's the best stuff. Like he sent me this like 30-second clip of pretty much just like a drum beat, but it's wonderfully simple.
Right.
And so I just like fucked with that and made a song in like 2 hours, and it's like one of my favorite things I've done.
Well, I find it very interesting what you mentioned, because you, like you say, you write a lot, and you feel like you have a good grasp of what you're doing.
It's getting better. I have, you know, places I want to get to. Sure. But sorry, go on.
No, but what I was thinking is, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No worries. I'll get it. What was it again? What did I say before?
Writing.
Oh yeah, writing so
better.
much. Yeah. What have you found works in music? Or works, it sounds too contrived, but what have you found makes a good song? What
works? I feel like if you get good at freestyling, I think freestyling is the key. Because I don't really like writing with other people. But I have 2 friends, this girl that I live with, who's this like South African girl, who's really fucking cool. And because we live together and shit, that's a really nice, fun element. So I write with her, and then there's this other guy called Liam, who is like the other person that I will like write with if I wanted to write with someone.
Sure.
And he's grown up in that culture, in that environment of like, you know, there'd be like him and loads of other lads, like friends that I know, they'd sit in a circle and just like freestyle over a beat. Right. And that, you know, that's how I feel like that's the best shit. That's the key. If you can like, because I like songs when they flow, do you know what I mean? Like, and I've written a lot of things that are like verse, chorus, blah, blah, blah. But I actually prefer it when it's more of like a rap, do you know what I mean? Like Party Next Door kind of style, like Sway Lee, he's like one of my favourite writers right now. Sway, if you're out there.
But so is it the
I think
unexpectedness
natural.
Or
yeah, I think things are best when you, like I've written my best shit when I haven't been thinking about it. I do my best shit when someone's like, this not going to be good, or like, do you know what I mean? Sure. So usually, like probably one of the best things I've written so far was like something I wrote, and as I was writing it, I was like, this is so shit, but let me just fucking put it down anyway. Do you know, when it's natural and when you're not thinking about it, I think that's the best.
Well, I want to talk about this particular instance then, because what made you put it down even though you thought it was shit? Why
because I was in a session and like, I was in a session and I couldn't, you know, sit there for whatever it was and then be like, oh, actually, you know what, I don't have anything. So I was like, I have to put something down. Okay. So I put that down, and then when I sent it to my manager, he called me and he was just like, what the fuck? This is my favourite thing you've done, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, literally, I thought it was dog shit. So
have you turned around now to it?
Yeah, I like it now. Okay. I like it. It's not, you know, it's a nice song.
Fair enough. So finally then, because you are working on your debut record, have you found certain themes or ideas that you want to talk about or sing about or kind of musical ideas as well? Do you notice certain themes bubbling to the top?
I like, yes, I think for me it's more about the sound, like, and how I want it to sound and like how I want everything to fit together. And the themes are what most things are about, which is, you know, stuff that everyone can relate to, I guess. But I like to maybe do it in a different way. Do you know what I mean? If I was going to write about love or being in love, because I'm very in love right now. Okay. I'm the most in love I've ever been in my life. But I'm not really going to sit down at a piano and be like, you know, I love you. So do you know what I mean? That's not my vibe. So I'll try to say it in a different way. And try to do things like,
No, that's because obviously there have been songs written about love before. So how do you, and even as a new artist in general, how do you carve out? It sounds again too contrived, but how do you kind of find your place or your?
I think just like by bringing your own personality into it, which I like try and do. Like that's one thing. If I'm writing a love song, it's not really going to be sappy. Like I'm quite a rowdy sexual person, so I like raunchy shit. You know what I mean? I'm not really like that poetic, or like, do you know what I mean? I'm more like, do you know what I mean? Like Rihanna, like Love on the Brain, that beats me black and blue, but it fucks me so good. Like that shit. That's, do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I like. So just writing and I guess just being truthful about it. But
very last question then, because you say you're in love and you're writing about this stuff. The person you're in love with, well, what does he think that he might be a subject of a song of yours?
What, as in, does he know?
Maybe, or does he care?
Oh, he definitely knows, but I don't think he cares.
Okay.
Like he'd do stuff, you know, for me in his work as well.
Fair enough.
That he will base around me or, you know, dedicate to me. So we treat each other with nice little pieces of art.
Fair. So honesty is the most important thing in that. Kind of your artistic expression.
Yeah, you just gotta put your personality into it, I guess, and then be real with it, you know?
Fair enough. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. This is really fun. I want it to go on longer.
Thank you.